A glass shattered before anyone noticed the girl. The sound cracked through the restaurant like a gunshot, sharp, sudden, demanding silence. Conversations died mid-sentence. Cutlery froze in midair. Even the low hum of music seemed to shrink back in fear. At the center of it all stood him. Chair tilted back, one boot resting on polished marble, fingers lazily curled around a glass he had just let slip from his hand. He didn't look down at the mess. He didn't need to. Everyone else already was. Clean it. His voice was low, calm, and somehow louder than the crash. No one moved. Then she did. The quiet waitress stepped forward. No rush, no panic, no apology. Just quiet. She knelt, gathering shards with bare hands, while murmurs rippled through the room like nervous electricity. "Careful," someone whispered from a nearby table. "You'll cut yourself." She didn't respond. Because she already had. A thin line of red slipped across her finger, but she kept going, placing broken glass into a tray like it mattered. Like none of this was unusual. Like he wasn't watching her. The mafia boss tilted his head slightly, studying her. Everyone else avoided eye contact with him, feared it, but she never even looked up. And that was new. "You didn't hear me," he said. His voice hadn't changed, still calm, still dangerous. She finished collecting the last piece before answering. "I did." Soft, clear. Not disrespectful. Not submissive. Just steady. A few of his men shifted uncomfortably. That tone didn't belong here. "You heard me," he repeated, "and you still took your time." "I cleaned it." She stood, tray in hand. No trembling. No apology. No fear. The room tightened. Someone chuckled nervously, trying to ease the tension. It died instantly when the boss's gaze flicked toward him. Silence snapped back into place. The boss leaned forward now, resting his elbows on the table, studying her more openly. "Do you know who you're talking to?" A question that usually ended conversations. Or lives. She met his eyes for the first time. Yes. No hesitation. No stutter. No drama. Something shifted. Subtle but real. Most people either begged or broke at this point. She did neither. One of the men at the table smirked. "Boss, she's got some attitude. Want me to teach her?" "Sit." The word cut him off instantly. The man obeyed. The boss didn't look away from her. "What's your name?" A pause. Not long. Just enough to feel intentional. "Amara." The name lingered in the air. He rolled it once in his mind. "Amara," he repeated, "and you think you can speak to me like that?" I spoke respectfully. Still calm. Still steady. The audacity wasn't loud. It was quiet. And somehow, that made it worse. Or more interesting. A few tables away, someone discreetly pulled out a phone. Recording. Not obvious, not careless. But the angle was right. And the tension was perfect. The boss leaned back again, a faint smile pulling at one corner of his mouth. "Respectful," he echoed. "You took your time cleaning something I dropped." I made sure no one got hurt. The answer came without delay. No defense, no explanation. Just truth. He tapped his fingers against the table slowly. Once, twice. Then stopped. "You think that matters here?" "Yes." That one word landed heavier than anything else she'd said. And this time, people noticed. Because something changed in his expression. Not anger. Not yet. Something sharper. Interest. "You're either very brave," he said, voice softer now, "or very stupid." She didn't blink. Maybe neither. A quiet inhale spread through the room. That was it. That was the moment everyone felt it tipping. Too far. Too bold. Too dangerous. One of his men leaned forward, voice low. "Boss, just say the word." He didn't respond. His eyes stayed on her. "You work here long?" "Yes." "How long?" "Long enough." Another ripple of tension. Another subtle line crossed. His smile faded slightly. "You like your job?" "Yes." "Even when customers treat you like this?" A small pause. Then, "I don't take it personally." That answer landed differently. Not defensive. Not hurt. Detached. And that bothered him. Because it meant she wasn't reacting to him. Not really. He tilted his head again. "Then how do you take it?" "Professionally." A few of his men exchanged glances. One whispered under his breath, "She's insane." Another murmured, "Or she doesn't know who he is." The boss heard both. Ignored both. "You think this is professional?" he asked, gesturing vaguely around him. She glanced at the table. At the broken glass. At the men watching like predators waiting for permission. Then back at him. "No." "Finally. Something. But I still have a job to do." The simplicity of it cut through the room. No defiance. No submission. Just clarity. And for the first time, he leaned forward again. Not out of dominance. Out of curiosity. "What if I make your job harder?" "I'll still do it." "What if I make it impossible?" "I'll try anyway." A beat. Then another. The room held its breath. Because something invisible had shifted. Power wasn't gone. But it wasn't one-sided anymore. And that unsettled everyone. Except her. And maybe him. He chuckled softly. Low. Unexpected. "You don't scare easy." "I don't scare at work." That line landed like a quiet explosion. Even his men felt it. Because now, it wasn't just conversation. It was a boundary. A line drawn without raising her voice. His smile widened slightly. "Then where do you scare?" She didn't answer immediately. And for the first time, she looked away. Not in fear. In thought. Then back. Not here. Silence. Heavy. Thick. Real. One of the men at the table shifted, clearly uncomfortable now. "Boss, this is getting ridiculous. She's just a waitress." "She's not just anything," the boss said, cutting him off again. That changed everything. Because now, he wasn't mocking her anymore. Not completely. He leaned back slowly, exhaling through his nose. "You know what I think, Amara?" She waited. "I think you've been invisible for so long. You forgot how to act when someone finally sees you." A dangerous line. Carefully chosen. Designed to provoke. To crack something. But she didn't react the way he expected. She tilted her head slightly. "I've always been seen." The reply came gently. But it hit harder than anything else she'd said. Because it rejected his premise entirely. No trauma. No weakness. No hidden insecurity. Just certainty. His expression tightened, just for a second. Then smoothed out again. "By who?" "Myself." The silence that followed was different. Quieter. Deeper. Not tense. Reflective. And that made it worse for everyone watching. Because now, even the boss wasn't in full control of the moment. A phone shifted slightly at the recording table. Zooming in. Capturing everything. The boss tapped the table once more. Then stood. Slowly. Deliberately. Chairs scraped as his men straightened immediately. The energy shifted again. Back to danger. Back to authority. He stepped closer to her. Close enough that most people would flinch. She didn't. "You talk like you're not afraid of consequences." "I understand them." Then you understand what happens next depends on me. Yes. And you're still standing here like this. Yes. Another pause. Longer this time. His gaze searched her face, looking for something. Fear. Doubt. Anything. He didn't find it. And that finally broke the pattern. Because instead of escalating, he laughed. Not loudly. Not mockingly. Genuinely. It caught everyone off guard. Even his own crew. Interesting, he muttered. Then stepped back. Just one step. But it changed everything. You didn't apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. You didn't get defensive. I answered your questions. You didn't try to impress me. I'm working. Each answer landed with quiet precision. No wasted words. No extra emotion. Just truth. And it dismantled every direction he tried to push her. He shook his head slightly, almost amused now. You know what your problem is. She waited. You don't play the game. I didn't know I was invited. That one got a reaction. A real one. A few of his men actually laughed, before quickly stopping when they realized who they were laughing in front of. But he didn't shut it down. He was smiling now. Not kindly, but not cruelly either. Something in between. Maybe you are now. I'm still working. That consistency. That refusal to shift. It was relentless in its own way. He studied her for another long moment, then reached into his pocket and placed a stack of cash on the table. More than the entire restaurant would make in a night. Consider this compensation for the broken glass. She glanced at it, then back at him. That's too much. It's what I decided. I'll bring your change. Another ripple. Another unexpected turn. Because no one said that to him. No one. His smile returned, sharper now. Keep it. I can't. You won't or you can't. I won't. That was it. That was the line that sealed everything. The room went completely still. Because now, it wasn't just unusual. It was unprecedented. He stared at her. Long. Unblinking. Then, he pushed the money closer to her and lowered his voice. Take it. She didn't move. I'm not for sale. The words were quiet, but they echoed louder than the glass that shattered earlier. And something shifted again. Not in the room. In him. Because for the first time, there was nothing to push against. No fear. No greed. No ego. Just a person who wouldn't bend. He exhaled slowly, then did something no one expected. He pulled the money back, turned, and walked away. Just like that. No punishment. No escalation. No final word. His men scrambled to follow, confusion written all over their faces. The tension broke in fragments as they exited. Conversations exploded back to life. Whispers. Shock. Questions. Phones buzzing. And at the center of it all, she simply picked up the tray, turned, and continued working. Like nothing had happened. But everything had. Because somewhere online, a video was already spreading. And by morning, nothing in that restaurant would ever be the same. If you felt that moment, the tension, the silence, the power shift, hit like and let me know what you think would have happened if she reacted differently. And if you want more stories where calm confidence changes everything, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one.